Welcome back to Change Your Perspective. My name is Abio, and on this channel, for those of you all who may be now joining me for the first time, right? On this channel, I share my personal experiences and pretty much life experiences, that I have been through, difficult things. I try to be really transparent and open, and my hope and intention really is to help someone else who might be going through the same thing to change their perspective about their situation and really refocus, on what God perhaps is trying to help them to understand in that situation. So, today will be a tad bit different in that I don't necessarily have a topic for discussion, but for the first time, I did a poll. I guess, a lot of YouTubers do like Q&As and that kind of thing. So this one, in a sense, is a Q&A, but it's not the standard, right? In that I asked a question to see if anyone would answer that question, and then I'm here to share it with you guys. So I'm gonna need my phone for me to do this. So the question was this: are there any valuable lessons that you have learned during this lockdown? And I know that is kind of a crazy question, but learning a valuable lesson, learning something positive, and that is the hope, right? I was hoping that persons would tell me something positive that they have learned in spite of, being locked down. Your food places are closed, so many places are closed, malls are closed, and we're really, really limited in what we can do right now. But I just wanted to see if perhaps there was anyone who had something positive to see. And my answer now, this is just a random thing, but I mean, I have learned so many things during this lockdown, right? But I put my answer as this: I have learned the value, I've learned to value the outdoors so much more. What lessons have you learned? And yeah, that is true. I mean, I am looking forward to traveling at some point, maybe not immediately as soon as the borders open, but I'm looking forward to traveling eventually and just being able to go outside, and get sun and walk freely, right? So I'm looking forward to that. And amazingly, you guys, I got some responses. So I just want to share with you all some of the responses, some of the answers that I got from other people. And there's a good friend of mine, she responded with this: I learned I needed rest. I used to feel guilty for wanting to rest, especially when there's ministry work to do. Well, I think that this was something that really impacted me in 2020 when this pandemic first hit, right? Well, when it first hit the world, right? And I realized how tired I was when I had to just stay home and just rest, and I think that is something that shifted in me as well. Just as this person was saying that she learned that she needed rest. And rest is something that I am learning to value, and I'm trying my best to take advantage of it more and more. And I think that now that I've gotten into this groove, I don't know how many of you all are experiencing this, but I don't know if I could go back to the pace that I lived at before, because when I've found myself doing that, especially because of work, my job is very hectic sometimes, and so much is expected of you, and you're just working, right, at a pace, all sorts of hours and that kind of thing. And I have found that whenever I get back into that zone, I am exhausted, right? And so I'm trying to make rest more of a priority. So that's a really good one. That we learned the value of rest. I'm hoping that some of you all out there would also learn that your bodies need to rest. So this person, let me see, it was simplest one. She responded and said, value your loved ones. Here today, gone tomorrow. And I think for a lot of us, there are so many people who still haven't truly been touched by the virus, but a lot of persons have lost loved ones. And even if you haven't lost a loved one, I think that this virus put life into perspective. It definitely has for me in this season, where I learned the importance of my family and getting in contact with them. Like every year for Christmas, I would see everybody, and we'd hang out and we'd laugh and we'd lie and that kind of thing. And pretty much it would be once for the year or maybe twice for the year that I would see like my family members, like aunts and uncles and cousins, right? Not necessarily like my parents and stuff. I would see them more often. And I think that this pandemic really made me appreciate time with my family more. And actually on Father's Day, I organized, along with my sister, we organized a family Zoom, a Zoom fun day where we just spent time and we talked and we caught up with each other, and I got to see my cousins and my aunts and my uncles and everybody, and we played a game. We played boy, girl, animal, please staying with you all. Oh my gosh. Every child knows this game, right? We would have played this in primary school, maybe even secondary school, right? But it was so much fun to play such, I guess, a somewhat childish game with my family. And we had so much fun, and I laughed all evening. It was so much fun. So value your loved ones. Yes, we are locked inside. Yes, it is difficult. If you're not living with your immediate family, then reach out to them, get in contact with them, call, talk to each other regularly and that kind of thing. Value your loved ones, because you don't know what is going to happen to you. You don't know what is going to happen to any of them at any point in time. And minister to them, encourage each other in this time, and just build that support system, right? So I really loved that comment that I got there. So next I will share Foodnatics. They responded and said, always trust the process, because God always takes care of his children. Whew, that's a really nice one, right? I think that in this season, I am learning, like right now, I'm learning to trust the process. I'm learning to just trust God more. And a scripture that seems to just keep jumping out at me and jumping out. I shouldn't just say jumping out, but I feel as if the Holy Spirit has been even leading our leaders at my church to just reiterate the scripture. And it is, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. And I felt as if what stood out to me more this time was to trust the Lord with all your heart. And that has been a difficult part for me. Just relying on God, and even when I don't understand something, even when it's difficult, to trust him with all my heart. When I have no explanation, when I have nothing to hold on to, right? I just have to trust him and believe that he's working it out for my good. And I know that some of you all may have been there as well. And so trust the process, okay? Hold on to God and just know that he never failed you before. And I've been hearing the Holy Spirit tell me that I've never failed you. right? And so trust me, right? Those of us who like to be in control of everything, or at least see some glimpse of where this is gonna go, right? Trust God, trust the process. Beautiful. Trust the process because God always takes care of his children. So this one is a funny name, but his name is G's and Ages. That's his Instagram name. Right? He responded and said, you know who your friends are when you are in trouble. And I had to think about this one a bit because I feel as if, for me personally, this wasn't so much my experience, right? I think that in this lockdown, in this entire pandemic, I have learned to rely on God more, and so it hasn't been so much, friend interactions and someone not coming through for me and that kind of thing. It's more been that I would just ask God to help me, right? If it is I needed something, right? But for this person, this is what it was, right? That I guess he learned who his friends were. And so I think that many times God places us in situations so that we can see our heart and also so that we can see other person's hearts, right? And this pandemic revealed a lot of person's hearts. I mean, things that were deep and hidden before, because now you're a lot more desperate and you don't have that crutch anymore, whatever that crutch might have been. So like for some people, it may have been alcohol, right? It may have been partying, right? It may have been lying with their friends. But now that they don't have that crutch, it's like you're gonna see the true self come out because now they're home, and now you're going to see the anger come out. So things that were there all the time. You're going to see rebellion, you're going to see untrustworthiness, you're going to see, right, people's true self come out now in this season. So, I mean, as difficult as it is the truth. You're going to see your friends for who they are, right? And we are not to judge anyone. We are to still love them, but still you see it and you're like, okay, all right. I know what I'm dealing with here, right? But also I think that a lot of persons also showed something really beautiful and powerful, right? In that I feel as if I'm seeing persons willing to help more than ever, right? And supporting each other within churches, and even if it's not someone from your church, right? We have been helping persons, helping families, and just giving, just giving. And I have really been seeing persons doing that. And that also, in a sense, is seeing your friends for who they really are. So you're seeing a good thing, right, in that person, that they are loving, that they truly love you, that they're really there for you, that they really have your back, So yeah, in this time, some of us may have learned more about our friends. Karen Elias. Karen and I go really, really way back. She was one of my first dance teachers, and she has still remained in my life, and she still is like this support. She would always message me and encourage me and ask me how I'm going. And now that I'm married, she asked me, well, how is marriage? Like she is an amazing, amazing person. If any of you all know her, you'll know that. And she actually has like a book and a really powerful ministry, right? So anyone who may want to check her out, you'll definitely do that. Follow her on Instagram, okay? Her response was this: stay focused and guard your mind from things that can affect you badly. So this is the lesson that she learned in the midst of this lockdown. right? To stay focused and to guard her mind from things that can affect her badly. And that is really, really important, right? It's something that I too had to realize that, you know what, I can't be checking the news all the time. Even just that report, like I am following the Ministry of Health on Instagram, and so every day you see the report of how many new cases, how many deaths, and it's just sometimes I would look at it and sometimes I intentionally just scroll past it, right? Because it's just so discouraging, you know, and you're hoping to see probably 5 new cases or 0 new cases, but instead it's over 200 or over 300, and it's just like, oh my gosh, when is this going to end, right? It's like I'm gonna be in this cycle forever. It's just when is it gonna end, you know? And so we have to guard our minds, and we have to ensure that we don't feed on news too much, y'all, and don't pay attention to the persons that you are listening to also on Facebook. We all have friends, we have family even who they're just more negative bent, right? And so they're gonna talk about the government, they're gonna talk about this minister, that minister, the other minister, this one. Nothing is wrong with people. Like, you know, this is just, you know, some kind of conspiracy, and people just have all sorts of opinions, right? And so you're going to have to stay focused. Stay focused on what God is saying. Stay focused on God. Stay focused on what you have to do, right? You have work to do. If you don't have work to do, you know, you have your family, you have your life, you may want to start a business. Focus, stay focused, right? And don't get distracted by all of the negativity and all of the bad reports. Who died? This person get it. It's rough, I know, but try to remain focused and guard your minds, okay, in this season. So that's an excellent point, Karen. I'm so grateful. And last but not least, John Ross Creative, right? He responded with, I learned a lot more about God's sovereignty and wisdom. Thank you. So I think that this is the perfect one to end with, right? Learning more about God's sovereignty and His wisdom. And I guess what John here is saying, well, his name is Christopher, right? But what John Ross is saying is that more or less he learned more about God, clearly, right? He is learning more about God's character. He's growing in his relationship with God in this time. Yes, we're in lockdown, but here what, I'm locked in, right, to the presence of God. I'm learning, I'm growing, I'm developing in my relationship with God and learning more about Him. And so what he's learned is about God's sovereignty. God is sovereign. He's the one who's in control. He's the one. I mean, I think that is a really, really big one, because, you know, we are starting to realize, I hope people are starting to realize that they are not in control anymore, right? The doctors are not in control. The government ministers are not in control. God is in control. And tomorrow could start a whole new wave, we don't know, of more COVID cases. So many things could just continue to go wrong. And you know what you're going to have to do? Say, God, you are in control. Or else we are just going to spiral out of control and lose our minds trying to figure out how to get through this, what to do next, how to survive, how we're going to, pay my bills. God is sovereign. And trust in His wisdom. He's sovereign and He is wise and He knows what He is doing. And so rest in that. Lean into that, because we can't lean into man's wisdom. We can't lean into what this one's saying and that one's saying, and this vaccine better than that vaccine, and we can't lean into that. Let God guide you and let God instruct you as to how to move forward and what to do and what not to do, right? So great tip there, John Ross Creative. He learned a lot more about God's sovereignty and wisdom. And so this is so exciting because this is literally the first time that I've ever done anything like this. And I was so excited to get responses. At first I thought I didn't get any. But it was so exciting to actually have responses from persons. So I'm thinking that probably I could do a Q&A next, right? Where I actually let you guys ask me questions. It could be anything. Something that you want advice on, something that you want to know about me, something that you want my opinion on, right? It could be anything, right? So I think that I'll do that next. You guys can leave questions, comments. If you don't have my Instagram, it's in the description box. So just click below and you'll be able to see my Instagram link, right? So that you can follow me and comment there if you want to, or you can send me a DM. You can comment below on this video, or Facebook. Okay, so I'm so very grateful for everyone who responded, everyone who answered that question for me. And I pray God really blesses you all, because it's helped me to have something to look forward to. And then to know it's helping other persons, you guys, to, I guess, have a different perspective of, this whole lockdown, what is we're going through right now, right? And so look at that. You all have, like, I can't remember how much, it's probably like 8, right? 8 different things, 8 different lessons that you all can learn in this time, right? So to end off, as always, no matter what situation you may be facing, including this lockdown, perhaps all you may have to do is change your perspective. See you guys in the next one.